As a very beautiful empath goddess, I have attracted some of the finest narcissistic men on this planet, honey. Men that look like God himself, honey. Greek God, African God, Haitian God, God dang. You know what I mean? But as an empath who has embraced my shadow side, I have become their worst nightmare. Why? Because their tricks don't work on me. So I'm going to teach y'all how to make sure that doesn't work. Number one, because I am a psychic who also embraces my shadow side, and psychic empath, I'm just, and also a divine feminine, honey. I am not impressed. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, yes, financial stability and financial abundance is really great, and hallelujah. Honestly, that's not going to make me want to be with you. Like, how do you treat me? How do I feel with you? Those are things that's important to me as well. Also, honey, I have met so many fine men along my life. You know what I mean? Like, I go to the gym, there's fine men everywhere. I've dated the finest of them all, whatever. So I'm just not impressed by a man's looks that much. So that actually makes them want me more. You know what I mean? Because they're like, she's not impressed with my money. She's not impressed with my looks. Like, what's going on with her? Like, why doesn't, and that makes them want to obviously pursue harder, etc., etc. So that's number one. Number two, the interesting thing about this is they have these freaking manipulation tactics that work on people who have not done their shadow work. And I'm like, how can you try and manipulate somebody who has studied psychology literally in college for 7 to 8 years and has studied dark psychology, and can see into your unconscious mind and also experiences telepathy. So I know what you're truly thinking and feeling, and think that those things are actually going to work on me, honey. Another thing is, when you are when you are a divine feminine who understands the feminine mysteries, you don't really gotta say everything. Like, just because you peep something don't mean you gotta say it, especially to a narcissist. You just let them talk or whatever may have you, and there's that. So anyway, hold on. Okay, back to the tea, y'all, because I ain't about to let the girls. So here's something you got to be mindful about: telling people your trauma. Okay, a lot of them want to learn your trauma, like what has happened to you, and that'll be the very thing that they do to trigger you later. So when you meet a man, please stop telling them all your trauma. That is none of their business. It's just, talk to your therapist, book a session with me. I'm a therapist. Like, I'll listen to you, I'll help you to heal, but that's not really for them. So one thing that they'll do is they want to know what happened to you and things like that. Number two, you might feel a very strong emotional pull towards them because they're going to use some manipulation tactics called mirroring. So you'll feel some strong chemistry with narcissists, but really what's happening on the inside is that you are being triggered. This person energetically is very emotionally unavailable. So your inner child may go into the please love me dynamic, or insecure attachment style playing out beneath the surface in the unconscious. So you might experience it as chemistry, but it's really triggers. So it's very important for you to be in tune with your body and do your shadow work so you know what's going on. So because I have done my shadow work and I'm very in tune with my body, I know if what I'm feeling is just attraction, you know what I mean, or if someone is triggering my core wounds energetically. So that's another reason why. Number two, one thing that they'll try and do is bait you emotionally. They'll try and rage bait you. They'll try and say stuff to make you jealous. They'll try and use these tricks like triangulation about other girls and this, that, and the third, honey, whatever. Honey, listen, when you operate in the frequency of abundance, especially when you're someone as a woman, if you're single who quantum dates, you're not really pressed about what somebody else is doing. And when you really love yourself, you're not about to compete for no man. So if they got another woman, then adios, like, who cares? Okay. So when you are not like pressed and desperate for a man, those triangulation tricks don't work on you because you really don't care. Like, it's actually a turn off if they try and even do something like that. So that's another thing. So really the way to, do this is all about self-love. Like, do you love yourself? You know what I mean? Because that's what is really going to be, you know, that's going to be the foundation for overcoming this energy. Another thing, you know, how can I say this? You have to embody your masculine and your feminine energy. Like, that's something that I have learned to do. I have done the inner work to really heal my inner animus, which is the masculine energy within, and my inner anima, which is the feminine energy within. So that means that, yes, inside of me, it is very soft, delicate, just whimsical, magical, like juicy, delicious, pleasurable, goddess, feminine, juicy energy. And even though that exudes from my pores, my inner masculine is the protector. So I don't have a hard time saying no, honey. I don't have a hard time setting boundaries, honey. And I also don't have a hard time, you know, I just don't have a hard time saying no. Like, it's really all about boundaries. Like, they hate when you have boundaries, you know what I mean? But you have to have them as a way to protect yourself, because they will literally try and use these manipulation tactics to seduce you. So no is a complete sentence, you know what I mean? So really, you just got to really love yourself. And when you develop your psychic abilities and your intuition, you can really see through it anyway. A thing I want to tell about women, so a lot of y'all, something that I see a lot of girls do, y'all be letting them know too much, you know what I mean? Like, that you know what they're doing and that this and who cares, you know what I mean? Just leave when it's time to leave, you know, and make sure that you are safe. Because one thing about them is, when it comes to narcissists, the thing that you have to understand about them is they are very wounded inner children who have been neglected or abandoned in certain ways. And instead of them healing their inner child, they basically turn into a villain. You know what I mean? So they are siphoning your energy. They are trying to get reactions out of you to give them power and energy. They lack empathy. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who turn their pain and trauma into power and into like healing, and there's people who turn their pain and trauma into just power in a negative way. So when you are an empath, they look at you as supply, something to siphon from. So they're going to try and trigger you. They want to learn your triggers. They want to get you emotionally. You have to learn how to, the last thing I'm going to say is, control your emotions. Stop giving them your emotional reactions. If they try and rage bait you, it's okay to not respond. It's okay to block. It's okay to delete. It's okay to deuces. You know what I mean? Like, and I want to just also say, for the people who are in relationships with narcissists and you just found out that they're a narcissist and you're trying to leave, don't be like, oh, I'm leaving you tonight at 7:00 p.m. because, baby, they might try and take you off the earth. You have to be mindful about how you move with these people, because their ego is so wounded that they might do stuff to really try and hurt you. So you might have to leave when they're at work, or call the cops and have some help, and, you know, whatever may have you. So hopefully these helped, honey. I feel like if you have ever dealt with a narcissist, or you have learned how to tap into your dark feminine energy so that you're no longer energetically available to be siphoned by a narcissist, please comment below and let the girlies know your tips and tricks and the way that you overcame narcissistic abuse and all sorts of stuff. Now, if y'all want me to make some videos about how to heal from narcissistic abuse, please comment below. Let me know if this video resonated with you, and thank you so much for tuning in.